haven't done that for a long time, and Jim keeps on giving. No.
I always look forward to that part.
Welcome, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the 34th official episode
of WAW,
WAW.
the show where important topics of the day are largely ignored.
And foolishness reigns supreme. Do you think that we need to talk about that at all? How
foolishness reigns supreme?
How that was established?
Get that from just listening to what we're doing.
Because we are pretty foolish and we reign supreme.
And we're here to ask the eternal question.
What's happening? Welcome, everybody.
Well, there's a lot happening this weekend, guys.
Not for me, for you.
No. Yeah,
That's right.
She's got the weekend off, but this weekend, as far as shows, we might as well get that out of the way right from the get-go. Tomorrow, and if you happen to live in the San Luis Obispo County, Led Zeppelin is going to be traveling up to Arroyo Grande, and we're going to be playing at the Clark Center for the Performing Arts tomorrow night at 7:30.
Did you say Arroyo?
Arroyo.
I thought you said Royal. Okay, it's Arroyo.
Arroyo Grande.
Yes.
That's tomorrow night, 7:30. First time in this beautiful venue, so we're very excited about it.
And that's a beautiful area too. I mean, I don't know the area, but I know anything around San Luis Obispo is gorgeous.
It is. It's going to be really nice up there. And it's our first time at that venue.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we're packing up, loading up the truck and moving up to Antioch.
That's like 5 hours.
California.
No,
Hi,
well,
Tony.
for you, for where we are in Simi Valley, it'll be 5 hours.
Tony is watching from the Elks Lodge
in San Luis Obispo. So
wow.
Tony, you can go to this show
tomorrow night.
On Thursday night.
You've got to be a part of that one.
I love San Luis Obispo. Yes. It's actually where my brother went to college.
Yes.
And that was the only place that my mother let me take a road trip with my sister. Had she known what would happen on that road trip, she probably wouldn't let me take it. But we went So my brother was in college in San Luis Obispo, and she let my sister and I go visit him while I was a young teenager. I grew up that weekend. No, I'm just teasing.
Something you want to tell me?
No, it wasn't. I didn't grow up like that. No, I'm not saying that. Of course, your mind goes immediately to that place. All right. You're about to see us bicker again because that's what you guys tune in for, to watch us bicker.
Okay. Anyway, we're heading up to Antioch, California. We're going to be playing at the El Campanile Theater.
Yeah. Antioch.
That's on Friday.
Friday.
Yes.
Antioch is kind of parallel to San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's a long ways up.
I think on the East Bay. Hey, Rick. Thanks for joining us. So that's going to be on Friday.
Yeah.
Then we're going to be driving all the way over to Indio, California. We're going to be playing at Fantasy Springs once again. We love the Rock Yard. It's a great place to play. And our good friends Steel Rod are going to be opening up.
Oh, we love Steel Rod.
At 7:30. So make sure you get there early and catch their set as well. We will be on, I believe, about 9:30, and we're going to be giving you about 90 minutes of Led Zeppelin classics.
So
last
Tony
one
says he's having a hard time hearing us. Let's see. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing us? Let me see if I can turn our volume up. I'm going to crank it up. Hopefully it's not on our end, but everybody else, let me know how the hearing is. Okay,
Tony, we're going to be playing at the Clark Center for the Performing Arts in Arroyo Grande.
I hear you. Lori says she hears us. Okay.
So
Tony, I'm wondering, maybe Tony, check the volume on your computer because I have mine pretty cranked up. I mean, it's
he says it's noisy there. That's why.
It's noisy.
So the Clark Center for the Performing Arts
Kate says,
in Arroyo Grande tomorrow night at 7:30. Tony.
Yeah.
Hope you can make it out.
Tony, come out. You're right there.
Yes. And Kate has just joined us. Kate Rose.
Kate.
Thank you for joining us.
Lori Hoffman. So we've been friends.
We haven't gotten to the last date.
But I just wanted to say hi to Lori.
Yeah, hi
Lori. We've been friends with Lori for 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
Lori's raised a family in the years that we've known her.
She sure has. Bob's bringing home the bacon.
Bob, it wouldn't be the same without you.
Thanks for
We love
joining us,
Bob.
Bob.
We love Bob Bacon.
Yes, we do.
Tony says where?
At the Clark Center for the Performing Arts
On Thursday
in Arroyo Grande
tomorrow night.
Yep. 7:30.
Yep.
Clark Center for the Performing Arts. And then so then the madness doesn't end after we play Fantasy Springs, guys.
So this is the one I'm looking forward to, people. This is Sunday. So this is the one I'm driving in for.
We're driving all the way from Indio, California to Seaside Lagoon in Redondo Beach to be playing. We're going to be playing at the Tribute Fest.
Outdoor on the beach.
Yep. In
Wear your
Redondo
flip-flops
Beach. But check
and
this
your
lineup out, guys. So starts off with TLR doing all the hits of the Eagles. At noon. We're going to be playing from noon to 1:30. Shortly after that, it will be Aeromyth playing all of your favorite Aerosmith tunes from 2 until 3:30. Then at 4 o'clock, we're going to be getting the lead out with Led Zepp again from 4 to 5:30. And then closing out the night from 6 to 7:30 are our good friends, Queen Nation.
Good time.
How can you beat that bill?
I mean, that is a good bill. And I'm going to be bringing my lawn chair on that one.
Do you have to bring lawn chairs?
I don't know, but I'm bringing one. I mean, you know what? Gary Gig Grantham was supposed to let me know, and he never let me know if I was supposed to bring a lawn chair. So I'm going to have to get on him on that one.
Well, hey, by the way, Bob says great hair day. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. I so appreciate that, Bob.
Yeah. We haven't had.
No, he was talking to me. He was talking to me.
No, who's having the best hair day?
Bob, were you talking to me or
guys,
Jim?
I'm getting close to the length with her, but I'm just not as handy with the curling iron. So
Get close to the length. You are nowhere near the length.
She still has the edge on me because of her curling iron skills, but I'm working on it.
Curling iron skills.
So yeah, Lori, you're
and
down
just
there.
Good jeans.
Lori's down in the South Bay. Sunday, you got to come out and see us. We got the Eagles, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin.
Lori, it's on the beach. It's a good Sunday to listen to listen to Queen and Zeppelin and the Eagles. I mean,
and the Aerosmith.
Woo,
that's a
good bill.
The tickets are $30 for that entire day. So it's going to be a great day. We hope you can join us. So tomorrow, Arroyo Grande, California, Clark Center for the Performing Arts. The next night, Friday, we are in Antioch, California at the El Campanile Theater with Led Zepp again. The night after that, Fantasy Springs with Led Zepp again, starting at, I believe it's 9:30, playing until about 11. And then the next morning at noon, playing with TLR at the Seaside Lagoon. That's where this tribute festival is being held.
And you know what I'll do? Underneath all this, I'll put all of this information.
Would you do that?
Great. So we had enough of you. So how about me? He tends to try to monopolize.
You got the floor. Go ahead.
He tries to monopolize the entire
night. Go ahead.
Night.
You got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So if you guys would like to make a personalized tumbler, and again, this whole week I've been hit with so many orders, so thank you so much. I make personalized tumblers, and unfortunately, I have to make my cutoff date on November 15th, but you guys order till November 15th. Personalized tumbler, an amazing Christmas gift. I have, what did I say, 17 orders in the queue right now, but I will continue taking orders till the 15th of November. So if you would like a personalized tumbler, please contact me on my website at www.theblondiecollection.com, and I will be taking, again, holiday orders until November 15th. So again, I will work with you. It's the best gift ever. It's a double wall tumbler. It keeps ice cold for 24 hours.
That's correct.
It keeps your coffee and your tea hot for 6
hours.
6 hours. 6 hours. The best thing. So anyway, contact me at www.theblondiecollection.com, and I will make your tumbler for you.
That's right.
And then go ahead. What's our next one?
Okay, so if you're having any automotive issues whatsoever, we want to refer you to Calvin's Auto Repair, 501 East Glen Oaks Boulevard in Glendale, California. If you mention WAW, he will give you 10% off your bill.
10% off. So if you want to get a new engine, what is an
That's the time
engine?
to do it.
That's a lot. That's
Oh,
a
man.
lot.
Yeah, it could be.
Do you want to tell the little story about how you wanted to go to Calvin this week? I feel like you should. Do you guys want him to tell the? Do you guys want him to tell the story about how Jim was pushing to go to Calvin this week? So, do any of you men, married men? I'm talking to the married men here. Do any of you married men have a handy wife, meaning a wife?
Wait a minute.
Nope. Let me finish.
G says, "Did I miss the Zmed brothers?" No, you did not.
At all.
They are going to be with us.
So, do any of you men? I'm taking a little poll here. Do any of you married men have a wife who can fix anything, and does not want to spend the money to take it to something, and would rather bring out her little toolkit, which I have, and fix it?
Hey, I got it for you. What are you talking about?
I know. You don't even know where it is at the time. So go ahead, tell the story.
Okay, so
I'm going to need you to really tell the story good though, because I was a champion on this one.
Well, we had a bunch of stuff crammed in the back of my van, my cargo van.
And tell the
namely
truth.
her suitcase.
But I'm going to need you to tell the truth on this one.
I slammed the door on it.
And it didn't close.
And it jammed up.
No, it didn't close. So he forced it. He forced the door closed, which you never want to do. You don't want to force the door closed. So the next morning, he comes into the kitchen and he says,
I said, hey, should we take the vehicle to Calvin?
You said, my door won't open.
Yeah.
I said, why not? You said, because
of your stupid suitcase.
I'm going to need you to tell this story right. Because I tried to jam the door closed. I said, well, why didn't you just move the suitcase? Well, I don't know.
I said, well, that would have taken some effort.
Yeah. So the door would not open. The hatch door would not open. So he wanted to just immediately drive it to Calvin. And I said, wait a minute, did you troubleshoot it? And he said,
yes.
No.
I looked at there.
No. He looked at it and he's like, I can't do it. I looked at it. And I immediately stormed outside because I'm a little annoyed at this time with my little toolkit. That's my toolkit. And I proceeded to take the entire paneling off the back door, undo.
Yeah.
You got to give me a little credit for this.
I know she did great, guys, but I'm so hesitant about doing stuff like that because I'm always afraid
I disassembled. Let's just say
I'm always afraid that I'm going to break something.
I disassembled the entire back door of his van.
I'll give her that.
And fixed it.
Yeah.
And saved us an hour and a half drive to Burbank.
Yep. Hey, Dan just joined us. Hey,
Don't
Dan.
be changing the subject. So anyway, needless to say, you know what I have to say, before I met Jim Wooten, I was a single mom for 10, almost 11 years.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. And you just learn to do things. I mean, Elena Griego and I have, why do I say Griego? Elena Montgomery and I have discussed this many, many times about our skills as a single mom.
Yeah. I can vouch for them.
And Elena and I have been survivors. We fixed things. We didn't have the money to call people. We had to fix them ourselves. So
they save us money in those areas, but then
so when I was done doing
cost us money
when I was done fixing the thing, he just looks at me and he's like, "You're amazing." But he fought me in the beginning on it.
I didn't fight you. I was just afraid you were going to break it.
You're like, "Am I an idiot?" Wait, are you calling me an idiot? I'm like, no, I'm just saying troubleshoot something every once in a while. I just want you to troubleshoot it.
Did I say that?
You said, I'm an idiot. You're treating me like an idiot. All right, anyway.
Okay, guys. We're gonna get to our guests
bickering right now.
This conversation is going nowhere, but we've got great guests for you tonight. We actually saw the Zmed brothers perform their show at the El Portal Theater. I think it was in June of this year.
North Hollywood.
And it was an incredible show.
Yeah.
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
We were both blown away.
I've always been an Everly Brothers fan, but after hearing them perform this music live, I'm even more so.
It was like butter. It was like butter. It was beautiful.
So good. And so if you haven't heard them, we're going to give you a little taste of what their show is is like through this promo video first, and then we're going to find out a little bit about their background, and hopefully you'll be intrigued enough to where the next time they're in your area, you will come on out and see their show, because it's
they have a northeastern tour coming up in October. But we're hoping that we can, lure them this way.
Back to California.
Yeah, they're amazing.
There's some shows in the works, and hopefully that'll happen by December. We'll see.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and roll the tape, Roscoe?
So let's listen to a little bit of Everlys Brothers.
Don't want your love anymore. Don't want your kisses, that's for sure. Bye bye love, bye bye happiness, and long loneliness. I think I'm gonna cry. Bye bye love, bye bye sweet goodness, and long emptiness. I feel like I could die. Bye bye my love, goodbye. Bye bye my love, goodbye. Bye bye my love, goodbye.
Thank you so much. So one of the things we love about the Everly Brothers and that made them so unique is they grew up singing on their front porch in Kentucky, and they brought that intimacy to every stage they played.
You are the dearest land outside of heaven to me. I may be a fool, but till then, darling, you never see me complain. I'll do my crying in the rain. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie. Well, think about the love that burns within my heart for you. The good times we had before you went away. Walk right back to me this minute. Bring your love to me, don't send me. I'm so lonesome every day.
Thank you.
This is called Bird Dog.
It's a real rebel rouser.
Feel free to dance in the aisles.
Yeah, we've been learning some dance moves on the road. I know there's the stomping the grapes.
I don't know that one.
And then there's the hitchhiker.
I'm not sure that's what that's called.
But you know the shopping cart though.
Johnny sings a love song like a bird. He sings the sweetest love song you ever heard. But when he sings to my gal,
What a howl.
to me he's just a wolf dog on the prowl. Johnny wants to fly away and puppy love my baby. He's a bird dog.
Thank you so much. The husband and wife songwriting team, Felice and Boudleaux Bryant out of Nashville, wrote so many of the Everly Brothers hits, including Bye Bye Love, which was turned down by 30 different artists, including Elvis, before the Everly Brothers took it and made a hit out of it. He also wrote All I Have to Do Is Dream.
Dream, 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 when I want you in my arms, when I want you.
Thank you guys so much.
Wow.
And here they are.
Welcome, Dylan and Zach.
Yeah.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Jim and Blondie. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks so much for joining us,
Man.
guys. I love the COVID beards. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're bringing the 70s Everly look right now, or the late.
We're gonna shave for the shows coming up.
You gotta.
Was it a conscious decision to grow them at the same time?
Well, whenever we're not doing shows, we kind of measure how long it's been by the length of our beard, because
The length of your beard. That's exactly right.
this is about 2 weeks of no shows.
I guess that's
Maybe
our way
4.
of saying we need work.
Yeah.
So Bob, our good friend Bob says, thank you so much for keeping the Everly Brothers alive. And there are so many Everly Brothers fans, and that is amazing. But we saw you guys literally at the El Portal
Theater.
And I know you guys had 3 shows at the Candlelight and 2 shows at the El Portal?
Yeah, and I think there was 1 or 2 others out there too. That was a good little run in June. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And of course, Gig, our buddy Gig.
Oh yeah, Gig.
With our good friend Gig. And how did you like working with Gig?
Oh my, yeah. it was
He
the
took
best.
I felt like I was like in the mafia. He took such good care of us. He's such a sweetheart. It made us feel so welcome.
Oh,
Hey,
Turn some light on. Hey, I was just walking past my computer. I heard people talking about me. Say, wait a minute, that's my name. What's going on?
wow.
yeah, good to see you.
Hey, Gig, how you doing?
I just wanted to drop in and say hello. And Jim and Blondie were kind enough to bring me in way too early before you guys could even establish your momentum.
No, that was very sneaky.
That was
I liked
perfect.
It.
It was
That was
beautiful.
I know. Yeah. It's just, well, hey, please proceed. I'd love to chime in, if I can a couple times, because I have nothing but great things to say about these 2 guys, but
Yeah.
Let's go on. So
let's get a little background on you guys. Where were you born initially? Were you born and raised in Southern California?
Yeah, Santa Monica, and
Monica.
our parents moved from Chicago to Los Angeles in 1978. And so, but both of us were born in Santa Monica, and gosh, we were in Studio City until I was 6, and then we moved to Calabasas and Woodland Hills, and then just kind of generally, Agoura Hills, Tarzana, the San Fernando Valley to Conejo Valley. That's where we were kind of raised.
Okay, and at what point did you guys become interested in music?
Well, so our mother is a 2nd grade teacher, and she's taught for 30 years, and she's retired now. And we would travel with our dad every summer when he was doing plays and musicals and all that. So our upbringing was kind of like had a dual lifestyle, where we'd be kind of like nomads during the summers, and then we'd be just doing the suburban life in school years and all that. And I think really what tipped us on to the spirit of music was being our dad was doing the musical Grease.
Well, a lot of different musicals.
A lot of musicals,
Yeah.
but that, and just being in the theater environment backstage and just seeing these professionals like just vivaciously living and seeing audiences like react and all that. You don't know what's happening when you're that young and all that, but it was.
Yeah, we didn't realize that we were, that all that would inform us later in life. We were just kids, and then later we're like, wow, that was a unique upbringing. And, we're really lucky for that.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember your time? Since you mentioned your dad in Greece, should we talk about your dad?
Sure.
With his amazing career. And do you guys remember the time with your dad? And what is your dad's name?
Oh, Adrian Zmed, our dad's name. And yeah, so he came, like I said, he came out in 78 to Los Angeles to pilot season and everything. But his first, working job as an actor was he got Danny Zuko when he was 23 years old. He got in the National Touring Company of Greece. So that was still the original production of it. And he ended up returning to Greece in the 90s doing the Tommy Tune production, national and on Broadway.
And of course, Grease 2 in those pictures.
Yeah, Grease 2, that was a little bit, that was in 1982. So I think that since Grease was so much a part of our upbringing, that culture being the late 50s just had a huge impact on us, because that music was all we heard when we were kids. It was
right.
I mean, we heard a lot of great 60s, 70s, 80s music as well, but for something about the 50s music it was just always there.
100%.
So was your dad a big fan of the Everlys?
Oh yeah, he used to sing "All I Have to Do Is Dream" to us, and we were, like going to bed. It was one of those kinds of things. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had a question, Gig?
No. I mean, I've got again.
So Gig, I have a question for you though. Gig, when you brought them in, Zach and Dylan, you brought them into Candlelight and El Portal. How did you stumble on them?
The way that happened was my producing partner at Castle Entertainment Group, Ron Kurtz, he actually brought the Everly Brothers experience for us to the El Portal. What was it, guys? Was it in 2019?
I believe so.
Maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah. And I think it was for 2 performances, and I couldn't be there. I didn't get a chance to see your show then, but there were raves about it. It became, Jay Irwin and Peggy Forrest, they're the 2 managers of the El Portal Theater. You know how much they love your show. And they had started asking for it back from that time forward. Then as the primary concert entertainment provider for the Candlelight Pavilion Theater, I got the opportunity to pitch the show for 3 dinner shows. It was dinner shows? No, 3 concert shows. Yeah, there at the theater. And then Ron and I were able to couple 2 more performances at the El Portal that week. So, that first night at Candlelight was my first actual exposure to these guys. And I just frankly fell in love with them from the get-go.
Yeah.
Front to back, left to right, start to finish.
The feeling's mutual.
Yeah, seriously.
Gig.
Yeah, we love you too.
Man. Which is that, first of all, I mean, these guys and their whole band are just gentlemen on and off stage. They sweat all the right stuff. They just get the fact that, there are so many people, there are a lot of acts, as we know, that come in feeling like they've got to be pretty assertive and maybe even have a little chip on their shoulders, because if they don't, they won't get what they want. But Dylan and Zach, I think by just nature and good breeding, good upbringing, and nurture, just understand, hey, let's start out by being nice guys, and you just want to do your best for them. So taking care of their show as much as I could is what I like to do anyway, but it just came so naturally, and I just look forward to it every time.
Well, as we've heard the saying, gratitude is the right attitude.
You're what? 100%. I love that. I love that. That's exactly what it is.
And we're working on, the bringbacks for those theaters. I hope they're going to work out. In fact, I'm meeting with Candlelight tomorrow to discuss next season, and they wanted you back for Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, we got to do this every night. This is great for our egos. This is wonderful. Now, thank you so much. And speaking of gratitude, we have to pay our gratitude to our partner, Burley Drummond. He's our drummer, our tour manager, business partner, and since the beginning of it all, like, he's been the buffer between the brothers that has allowed this to stay alive. And and all
awesome.
that.
Well, now, was Burley Senior playing with the group initially? Is that how?
No, Burley Senior never played with us, but
we all met through our booking agent and best buddy Rich Reese. He booked Ambrosia for a long time, and that's how we met Burley through
Junior. Yeah, so we met Burley Senior and then Burley Junior, and hit it off with him. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, before we go on too, I wanted to find out what is the age difference between you two? Who's the older? And
I'm the older one. We're 4 years apart.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah, both November birthdays, 4 years apart. Yeah.
And at what age did each of you start playing guitar?
I started playing at 12. And it was initially, as I had mentioned, I loved 50s music, and that's what just got me going. I remember my dad sent me a 50s mix CD, and it had Del Shannon and Fats Domino and Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry. But honestly, it was when I heard Led Zeppelin 2 that I wanted to play guitar. After I heard Heartbreaker, I was like, okay, I need to do that. Whatever that is, I don't know.
Yeah, Gig tells me you're quite the accomplished lead guitarist.
Wow.
I'm working on it.
I wanted to toss that in because I know Zach wouldn't say it of himself, and certainly Dylan's not going to say it of him.
Yeah, old school hands over here.
But that's another thing that I got to discover in the Candlelight Pavilion run. The guys did it as a strong acoustic front 4-piece group. So what that meant, instead of using a guy on electric, Zach played all the leads on acoustic, just bumped it up with a boost, and it was so tasty. I just loved it. It works beautifully. Again, their act works beautifully as just the two of them, or you could put an entire orchestra behind them. Either is going to be, anything in between.
Wow, that would be amazing. Entire orchestra behind them.
Oh,
That would be fantastic. I feel like
a dream.
So you picked up the guitar at 12. Dylan, when did you start?
So we'd be in the pit band, like sit in the pit when the musicals were happening on the tour with our father. And I remember just watching the drummer playing and all this and stuff. And that early on was what kind of got me in the drums and all that. But Zach taught me how to play guitar in high school. And in middle school, I started making weird songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not educated properly in music that much.
What does that matter, though?
It doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Neither is Paul McCartney, and look how far he's got.
Yeah, if that's any testament. Yeah, that's. But yeah, so around middle school, high school, but it was Zach that taught me how to play and all that. So I learned from him, and he would always, when I was in high school, he would be writing songs and saying, "Hey, can you sing this thing for me? Because I need to work on this. I want to try and find a harmony." And from that, we kind of realized, hey, we kind of sound like each other a little bit.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So at what age was that where you actually started singing together as a duo?
As a duo.
we took it seriously after I got out of college in 2010. It was 2010. And
But even at that point, you were still.
we were figuring it out.
Yeah.
I joined his band. It was called the Janks.
It wasn't as a duo at that point. So we were playing. He was kind of joined the band as an auxiliary member, and playing whatever needed to be played and singing whatever part needed to be sung. And then when that group kind of dissolved in 12 or 13, that's when we started singing together.
Yeah, we realized we can, as a duo, we can play 3-hour gigs at wine bars, bistros, clubs, and stuff, and make a couple $100 a night. And we're like, wow, this is a living, if we bust our butts. And so that's when we started realizing we need to find music that we can kind of really feature our brotherhood through.
Yeah, because prior to that, it was a lot of, a lot of screaming, a lot of high singing, and not really focusing on crooning in close harmony together. And those 3-hour, 4-hour gigs, it really helped a lot to simplify the material. I was able to sing in my range, which is comfortably a little bit lower than Dylan's, and that that helped so much. I mean, we were able to make it through 3 or 4 hour gigs then comfortably.
I see.
And that's where we
Yeah.
started learning songs from like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Bob Dylan and the Beatles and the Everly Brothers and all that. And that's kind of where we would play an Everly Brothers song, and some people would always come up to us and say, "That song is wonderful. Who does that song? What is it? The Righteous Brothers or this or that?" And we just kind of, people don't really know about the Everlys like they do know about Buddy Holly or Little Richard or Chuck Berry. And we just kind of dug in. That's when we kind of tipped us off into like, is anyone paying respects to their history and their impact and stuff? And
yeah, we looked online and we didn't see it. We didn't see anyone doing a show that went through their history. And
That's right. That's right.
So that's what kind of prompted it. And we told the idea to Burley Drummond Jr., Burley, and he was gung ho. He's like, I want a part of this. So
yeah.
It was fantastic. The show we saw, your dad actually got up and
Sang
sang
Teach Your
with you
Children
guys.
with
which
was that show on Father's Day?
Day show.
Father's Day.
Father's
Yeah,
Day? It was
we
a
went on
Father's
Father's
Day.
Day. That's right.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, we hadn't seen our dad the whole year, all of 2020, so that was really special for us because got to sing with him that day. Yeah, that was. Thanks for coming to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was a fun show. We were so privileged. I mean, we were so blown away. And your
man.
harmonies were amazing.
That's the thing.
So
I mean,
beautiful.
Gig and I both. I mean, the reason we're in the Eagles band together is because we just love harmony singing.
Harmonies, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think when it's done well, there's nothing that impacts an audience like harmony. People hearing harmony and the way you guys did it. I mean, I was completely blown away because the timing and the phrasing was just impeccable. It's like you guys, it was two singers, but you sounded like one. It was incredible. And I know it must be that you've just sung these songs over and over and rehearsed and sang, in wine bars and things like that over the years to develop that skill, because that's not easy. It's something that just takes so much repetition, and you guys completely nailed it. It was unbelievable.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, you know how much practice it is. People don't know. A lot of people don't know. And some people, we've heard stories from people that have played with Don and Phil Everly, and apparently those guys, because they grew up doing it, they could not see each other for months and then come back together and sound the same. Well,
yeah. I mean, there's something to say. I think, and history proves it about blood harmony or family singing together. And just because when you grow up in the same family unit, you kind of have the same inflections on words, and you kind of breathe a similar way, and those things do have an effect on the unity of harmony and all that. But yeah.
Oh, we lost Jim and Blondie.
Oh,
So we have someone who wants to know if you can do little Susie, a little
Wake up, little Susie.
a little
Andrew Shinhorn. How much are you gonna give to our PayPal account for singing? Go get the guitar. He's gonna get the guitar.
Okay.
We didn't plan on
What a
this happening,
treat!
but
This is a treat.
Hey, why not?
that's awesome. All right.
That's awesome.
By the way, Shannon Majors just joined us.
Shannon, hello, Miss Shannon. We have a lot of people joining us. Let's see. Seeing you guys definitely special, but seeing your dad is magic. Yeah, so much love. It was pretty magic, and you could see actually when your dad got up on stage, he was so proud of you. He was so proud of you, and it's very evident.
Yes.
That was a wonderful, very meaningful moment. I'm so glad that was able to happen, and that the El Portal, we could facilitate it there. That was
and we've never done that before. We've never sung with our dad in 3-part.
Wow.
The stage. I mean,
Oh man, you guys nailed it perfectly.
Yeah, you did.
It was
you
great.
did, and he was so proud. Good. It was very evident. All right, you're gonna do a little wake.
Yeah, why not?
Sure,
Before things get here, I'll tilt this down so you see the guitar.
We got to see you.
We'll give them the.
All right,
go for it.
No warm up here.
Yeah.
Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell your pop? What are we gonna tell friends when they say, ooh, la, la, wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. And I told your mama that she'd be in my teen. Hey, Susie, baby, looks like a gift again. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. We gotta go home. All right.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's so-
That is amazing. Beautiful.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but there's songs we'd like you to sing right now.
We do weddings, we do birthday parties.
Yeah, no,
Anything.
seriously, we're available for private parties. And
I love that.
That's awesome.
So where exactly are you guys located? What? And I know
There
that
it is right there.
right behind you,
Orange
Yes.
County, Tennessee.
Tennessee, and you guys live on the same property, right?
Yeah. We it's like I live in the in-law suite and he lives in the outlaw suite. I don't know. He's upstairs in the main bedroom. But yeah, we got the house in Spring Hill, Marion County, Tennessee, and we love it here. We live out kind of in the country, and
but we still are 45 minutes from Nashville, so it's kind of like what we grew up with, living out in Agora Hills or Westlake or something like that.
What's the weather like there? What's the weather in
Oh,
Tennessee?
it just shifted, so there's a chill in the air, but it's still kind of hot. But you can feel fall is coming.
Okay.
What's it like by you guys right now?
Well, I mean, the same thing. There's a little bit of a
It's
chill
starting
in
to
the
get
air.
a little
Yeah,
chilly
it's getting
now.
a little
It's
chilly.
getting into the
Yeah.
like high 50s.
But I love
at
it.
night.
I'm happy to feel the chill.
Oh, me too. Yeah, no, the summer. I mean, I do love the summer out here because it's wild and there's but it's a little humid.
Yeah. You guys do not get snow, or you do get snow?
We do. Yeah,
You do.
it
Okay.
just doesn't stick for very long.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing.
No,
I mean, you
no.
get
I'm fine with that. That was
Yeah,
I'm shoveling driveways.
Yeah.
What precipitated the move out there, and at what age did you decide to do it?
So from 2017 to 2019, we didn't have a house because we were living in Tarzana, California, in a townhome, and
that sold in
That sold.
2017.
And so for about 2.5 years, we were technically homeless, but we were living on the road, playing about 100 to 150 shows a year. And every time in between, we just stay at Airbnbs for like a week or two on end. And we were just getting to know the country, the whole, face of America, the United States. And that's really, at first, I think, studying the music that we're studying, early country, early R&B, rhythm and blues and blues and stuff, and the birth of rock and roll, and just learning about the geographic, hotspots of that time. I think that's one big thing that really turned us on to the Nashville area.
Yeah, because it's not just it's just an amazing, as you know, there's just an amazing part of the country to be in for music. We're so close in the fact that we're close to Memphis and Clarksdale, Mississippi, and Asheville, North Carolina, and Nashville.
That's another reason, is that it's the proximity to it's maybe 1/3 of the country. It's a day's drive away. So for touring purposes, it makes a lot of sense because we can do one-off shows and
Okay.
drive 11 hours and come back home. Whereas I know it's a little bit more isolated on the West Coast in terms of the markets that you can play and stuff.
Yeah. So we like being able to, we're a day's drive from Dallas or Tampa or Chicago or even New York. We could get to New York in a day.
So you're just very centrally located that you could get pretty much anywhere you need to get in a day.
Logistically, it makes sense for touring, and I think just the spirit and the culture that has, the history out here is fascinating, and it's something that we've been really immersing ourselves in over the last few years. So we kind of felt like maybe it's a rite of passage. We need to be here and kind of marinate more and stuff. So that's another reason.
So the band was actually formed prior to you moving out there.
Yeah. We were still living in Tarzana, and
an interesting story. The first official gig we played. The first official show we played was in the Six in Calabasas, which used to be right where the Sundance Saloon.
Yeah, there was a venue in Calabasas across from the Sagebrush Cantina called the Sundance Saloon, which is where Emmylou Harris used to play, and it's where Don Everly met Albert Lee for the first time, and they had a long relationship after that.
And we found this out after we had played there and all that. Wow. An area that was where they would hang out.
Yeah, it's so cool hearing stories about what it was like in Calabasas in the 60s and 70s. It was pretty cool, that little last Old West town.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Now, you started the group with Burley. Now, how did you go about filling out the rest of the band?
Well, from all the playing that we had done over the previous years with our original band, just so many, we were friends with so many other acts, and I just thought about I want to play with my friends, so I just thought I asked my friend Brandon and my friend Bert, and they were all for it, so and since then we've just brought on more friends, because as you know, there's the playing aspect, and then there's the hang, and the hang is just as important, so
absolutely. Sure.
Good people. Yeah.
So we have Stephen Doyle saying, and Stephen, we just talked about Adrian, but maybe you just joined us. Adrian Zmed, which is your father.
We can talk more about him.
Yeah, we got lots of stories.
Yeah, probably.
They have a very talented father, but their father has very talented sons. So.
Yeah, is your dad still pretty active in the entertainment?
Yeah, he's been doing a 4-person play called Middletown, and I think he's doing 5 weeks in Florida coming up really soon.
Miami.
It's called Middletown. If you want to look it up, if anyone wants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Trying to get rid of this. Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm trying to work my magic. But I had a fun comment that you guys. I'm sure you guys will appreciate this one. So we had a little comment here that just saw you were on. Who are Dylan and Zach? Interesting, cute guys. Sherry Goldman. You may want to Google that later.
Are either of you married at this point?
I'm working on it. I'm very close.
All right. Ooh, okay. All right.
Another funny story is that we in 2019 we had moved into our home here, and we were on the road so much that it felt like an Airbnb here for a long time, because we'd just be here for 3 days and then be back on the road. But so we had very small amounts of windows of time to meet people out here, and we just so happened to have had this a date on the same day, and we're still with the same person and all that.
So you guys dated, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same date. It was a different date.
Yes, it wasn't the same date. Come on,
you know what I mean?
Well, maybe they don't though. But yeah, we only had one day at home, and we just so happened to set up our dates on that day that we were home.
Right.
And we hit it off with our respective dates, and we're still together.
Yeah.
They're still together with both of them, but they were different dates.
Different dates.
Different dates. So they don't share everything.
Yeah, we've never been in the same room together though.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, man.
Hey, Jim and Brenda, may I?
That would be a whole nother show.
Yeah, we'd have to have you guys on again.
Yeah, Maury Povich.
Do that one.
Before I click out, may I actually just interject something and ask a question of the guys?
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely,
yes.
First of all, these back to their show. You don't see it in all venues, like many shows that have multimedia, but they have a great, as you guys saw, multimedia presentation. And I think, Dylan, that was mostly you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
That composed that. Good. I found something to credit you, since we already talked about the great player that Zach is.
Well, I wrote everything. He just.
Honestly, they were able to use it at the El Portal shows because we have access to a really large, beautiful inversion wall LED screen. So it was stunning. And the way that show, not only the way they serve it up and control it, but the way it integrates into the show is just seamless and beautiful. And one of the best uses of media support I've seen, especially from such a self-contained show. So there's a little gush. But I also wanted to say, and just to ask you guys a question, and then I hope I'm not stepping on you, Jim and Brenda.
Please, go ahead.
Please. This may come out later, but when you see the Zmed Brothers show, first of all, there's just an immediate buy-in because musically and vocally, you are just pulled right in and so happy to be here. And then, of course, the personality of the show and of these two guys, these two brothers, starts to come out. And as anybody that's seen your show knows, there is a definite Tom and Dick Smothers. Smothers Brothers disposition and energy to the show, and you guys even address it. Zach will talk about it toward the end of the show and acknowledge it. But what I wanted to know is that kind of rhythm and rapport something that was always sort of organic to you guys as brothers as growing up, or was it when you stepped on stage, particularly in this show, that those energies really started emerging, and you realized, okay, we can really capitalize on this, and it feels right?
I'd say it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
There was something there already, but the show was a vehicle that contained us because we were forced to honor something
greater than ourselves. But I can't. Yeah. I genuinely don't remember things, so I would. But I'm fine with just saying stuff. I'm just fine with just if I get it wrong, I know he'll get angry and correct me. So he's my safety net. He's my safety net. So
yeah.
He made the multimedia because he probably couldn't because he couldn't remember. But all that stuff did happen naturally, but we leaned into it.
And
Am I picking up Zach? Are you the band leader?
Well, I was like the way that we delegated responsibility was I was the band director, and Dylan was doing all this the media, and Burley was doing the tour managing.
Okay, all right.
And if it wasn't clear when they just sang together, it's very difficult. In fact, I didn't know until I asked you the night of that performance, Dylan. But so Dylan is doing the fill part, the high harmony, and Zach is doing the Don part, the lower harmony. Do you guys ever switch on any tunes? Is there ever a time where they did that, or is it much straight across the board?
I think there's only one song that Phil had any leads on in the Everly discography and stuff, but they were pretty consistent with Don being the solo lead vocalist, and then the brother harmony being the other aspect.
Yeah, so
and all that.
For the Everly show, we've stuck to that just to try and be as true to it. But there are the other brother act that really is just so incredible is the Leuven brothers that preceded Don and Phil, and they toss the lead back and forth. It's really something special.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we could probably talk about a whole lot about, but we can save it for a little later maybe. But it's what Don and Phil have taught us, their career, and they've kind of act as like an access point to, because they at the birth of rock and roll, one of the most remarkable and pivotal times in music history. I don't know how many people would argue with that, but it's so they for us, they kind of serve as this, they bridge the gap between the old world music of old country and bluegrass and blues
and radio, and then the record industry,
and that whole birth of the industry and all that stuff. So there's a huge treasure trove of family, sibling, like brother acts, sister acts from the 30s, 40s, and 50s that were huge radio stars. That they're like. They're amazing, like the Louvin brothers and the Delmore brothers, the Blue Sky Boys.
There's the
Kershaw,
the Desirek sisters from Minnesota. I mean, there's so many, and we had no idea about this part of the American history until we did the Everlys show, and it forced us to dig, because if we're trying to play the Everlys material, we need to listen to what they were listening to.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Sure.
You're right.
Listening to, even because their father, Ike Everly, was an amazing musician, an unbelievable, like, thumb picking style guitar player.
Wow.
That played on radio in the 30s and 40s. So like that whole world has opened something up for us, and we had no idea that 6-7 years ago we would be so into radio sibling acts from the 30s and 40s and 50s, but we love it so much. Yeah.
And I know you guys did a documentary on the life and the start of the Everly brothers, and I actually tried to download it and I couldn't get it into this program, but I will post a link because Jim and I actually watched it, and it was pretty amazing. Yeah. And you want to tell us a little bit about the documentary you did?
Absolutely, yeah. So, none of it would have happened without these two twins, Sherry and Cheryl. They're
Sherry and Cheryl Davis,
the Davis twins. They're music preservationists, and we met them in Anderson, Indiana, in like 2017, I think, and they hooked us up with this man named Bill Hillman, who in our eyes is the godfather of Shenandoah, Iowa. He's an incredible man.
And Bill Hillman is responsible for bringing Don and Phil back to Shenandoah for a homecoming concert in 1986. And
so homecoming, meaning that Don and Phil spent a great deal of their formative years in Shenandoah, and they started their professional career there as little kids.
As far as I know, they were there from 1946 to 53, and their father Ike and their mother, they were performing on KMA radio and KFNF, right? Mm-hmm. And so Don and Phil sang first time in a professional setting on that on those radio stations, and so we've become friends with Bill and his family, and
they have a Shen Fest every year, and that celebrates the heritage, the Everly heritage, and just the culture in.
They actually preserved, because the Everly family kept house hopping, and so they got one of the houses that they lived in, and they actually forklifted it and moved it to Main Street across from the train depot, and now there's an interactive thing inside, and a bunch of period correct, furniture from the 40s and 50s. And it's such a charming town that you can see where it could have become something, but like the interstate ended up getting built away from the town. So, it just kind of got forgotten to some degree. Wow. And the Everly brothers, the way that they were marketed by Cadence was that they leaned really heavily on their parents' Kentucky roots, completely omitting the time that they spent in Iowa. And so we just feel like it's pretty important to let people know about that part of the history that they were spending in Iowa.
Yeah.
It's the small town family values, I think, like that. I know there's a quote that Phil said that it kept growing up in that area, kept their head on their shoulders and their feet on the ground. And I think it was a conscious choice that that Ike and Margaret, their parents, made because they were in Chicago working on WSM,
The WLS, radio,
WLS,
the National Barn Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they basically kind of wanted to raise their kids in a smaller town and to have those small town family values and all that. And
yeah, I mean, I remember hearing, was it Chet Atkins that said when Chet met Don and Phil as teenagers, he said that they were just a cut above the rest. Like the way that the parents raised them was, you know, they stood up straight and looked you in the eye, and you know, just really basic stuff that not everybody has. And
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I assume most of the people that are watching right now know that we lost Don just within the last few months.
Yeah, we
right?
did.
But is their mother still living?
yes,
That's incredible.
yeah, hundreds
right?
years old. Yeah. And she apparently lives in the Bye Bye Love house, which is the house that they bought for her when in Bye Bye Love, their first single, became a big hit and stuff. So
Wow.
and apparently she has a whole bunch of memorabilia and like their suits and stuff.
all their
And
stage suits.
we're praying that that stuff gets turned into some type of a museum in the way that
Yeah.
the museum is and all that. And
Yeah. Now, I remember when I was growing up in the 60s, I seem to remember the Everly Brothers actually had a variety show for a while. Is that correct?
Maybe it was taking over for the Johnny Cash show.
That was it. That was it. Yes. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I don't remember.
we lost you.
Are you
So-
back? Okay, good.
we're back.
So yeah, in 1970, as far as we know, they took over the Johnny Cash show, and it was the Everly Brothers show.
Yes.
That summer. Yeah, I would love to see. I mean, I've only seen clips, but I wish that there was some way to get the full, all the episodes. That would be so cool to watch.
Oh, I know. They do have some of the Johnny Cash episodes on YouTube. I click on there and watch like Neil Young and was Joni Mitchell on there. But the one thing I wanted to say is that I'm so impressed that you guys are such students of the music. And every group that I play in, every tribute, I always tell my bandmates, really become a student of the music, find out about the history, because usually what happens is you fall more in love with the act that you're paying tribute to. And it also comes across to the audience as just being so genuine, because it shows that you really love the music. You're not doing it for a paycheck. You're doing it because you love the music. And I wanted to commend you for that, because it was such a informative show. The comedy was great, and I loved all that. But all the other things that you interjected into the show made it very, very interesting.
Wow, thanks.
Thank
Jim.
you for saying that. Yeah, I think it developed organically. Like we started just playing the songs and trying to like learn as much as we can about the music and just share stories whenever and every show we played, folks after the show would come up to us and tell us their personal stories, and we just started to realize pretty quickly how deeply meaningful the music is and nostalgic it is for people. And like we've got to honor this to the best of our ability. It was like a quick.
Oh yeah, those. Oh my gosh.
So part of a large show is the little one telling you he has to go pee pee.
I wish we had a little puppy to pull up right now.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let me say a warm and hugely loving so long and stop taking up a third of the screen. But I'm going to keep watching.
Oh, we love
Okay.
you, Gang. Thanks
I
for
love you back,
coming
guys.
in.
We're happy that you joined us.
Yeah.
You know, when I knew you guys were going to be on, I called Jim and Brenda and said, "Hey, can I just come on and say hello? Because I just love these guys." And well, I'll keep you apprised of what's in the works.
Are you guys going to be out in this part of the country anytime with
the Eagles
TRL?
show?
Yeah.
No, in fact, I don't even know next time we're getting on a plane. But it may not be till 2022 that we're
Okay.
traveling cross country again. That's kind of the way it's looking. But man, I mean, I'll text you guys and let you know if there's possible.
Please. Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it.
When you guys come our way, we'll definitely make it a night out. We'll go do dinner together. And
yeah, I'd love that.
Absolutely.
All right, Giga. Well,
let me sign off. And guys, be talking to you soon. It's just great to see you. And I know you'll be clean shaven by the next time we see each other. Love you, Blondie and Jim.
All right, love you, Gig. Thanks for joining us. One question that I've asked every singer that we've had on the show, guys, is it's funny because I'll tell you a funny story about this as well. But have you ever gotten to the day of a show and had laryngitis, either one of you, and said, "Mike, I can't do the show"?
Oh man,
we've
had
never
some rough moments.
We've never canceled a show, but there have been several moments on tour where we've completely have no voice, and we kind of we'll whisper sing into the mic, but luckily it's always been one of us and not both of us.
Yeah,
because if both of us, then we'd be definitely in a different situation. But
sure,
it was something where all right, we'll pull the weight and just I would whisper sing. I mean, we did an Ireland tour in 2018 or 19, and towards the end of it, I had totally lost my voice, and I was whisper singing on the mic for maybe the last 3-4 shows.
I remember I felt so. I was so grateful that I still had my voice, because I was able to kind of.
And we'll also tune our guitars down as well.
We down tuned a half step. If we're really in a bind, we'll do something like that to kind of just help ourselves a little bit. But
sure.
Yeah, but it's scary. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it.
I know. I mean,
there's been some shaky times.
Well, yeah, there have been. Especially with the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young group, I had completely lost my voice doing a tour in South America with Led Zeppelin. Came back and we were playing the Candlelight Pavilion with the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young group, and I'm doing the Nash part. And I'm telling you, it's the most stressful, thing I think I've ever dealt with. I got through the 2 nights, but I told Gig, who's in that group as well with me, I said, in retrospect, I probably should have just said, hey, let's find a sub. Let's get somebody that can come in, because I just felt like I didn't do a good job, and I hate going out and.
It's tough. It's those moments are like being forced to walk on a tightrope and being forced to look down. It's full time, and your feet have blisters, and you're like, it's a terrifying.
And the thing is,
experience.
you don't want to. You can't apologize to an audience right when you get out there, because that sets the wrong example. So you just have to smile through it and just I think the thing we learned from our dad an incredible work ethic, I think, because we saw him growing up in those same positions, but he would just go out there and do his very best.
He always said, just have a secondary version that you can sing. Even if he would have, if his range got reduced to a single octave or something like that.
Sure.
Use that octave the best you can.
Yes. You're right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I don't know. Have you guys heard of the band Queen Nation?
Yeah.
The Queen group.
Yes. Well, we had the singer on about a month and a half to 2 months ago, Gregory Finsley, who's just unbelievable.
That's a whole other world.
Can I just really quickly ask, was that the same Queen group that I saw you guys play, and I want to say it was in Pasadena.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah.
I asked them the same question, guys. Asked him the same question, and he at that point he said, I've had some rough times, but I've never canceled a show.
Yeah.
Sure enough, 2 weeks ago,
cancel the show.
We have to cancel the show because our singer is ill.
Never cancel.
I felt like I jinxed
him.
Oh no! Hey.
Well,
So-
you know, it's a different situation too when I feel like if it's just one singer, and because
Sure.
harmony thing is I guess we kind of have a little bit of a more of a crutch maybe because one
Sure.
person
Yeah.
to hold the ground, but for just one person that's got to
solo,
be
it's hard.
Yeah, and all that really high stuff. I mean, that's
Oh,
it's a whole different type of singing
Yeah.
too. Like you're pushing your voice in a different way, and we've had to relearn how to sing by doing this show because it's like it's a different type of placement, a different type of feeling that you're emulating, and
but
it's-
you have each other to lean on, which is so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
one is feeling a little bit, you know, behind the scene. You have the other one to lean on. I have a question for you. So we've talked about troubled times. What are the highlights of your shows? What are some things that you guys remember that were some great times?
well, I'll
Some
say
memorable times.
yeah, that we've got definitely a good handful, and I would say though, like one of the most long lasting and impactful thing is after every show going straight out and meeting people after the show and just like hearing stories and getting that affirmation of just this music is meaningful and we're like serving a purpose that is bigger than ourselves. That I think is
well, we realized that the first show we ever played when we went out front and someone said that, you know, some of the ballads that we sang, like Let It Be Me or All I Have to Do Is Dream, so some of those songs are you know, couples' first dance songs. And a woman came up to us after the first show we played and said, I was dancing with my deceased husband in the back. And we just realized the respect that we have to have for like I guess we didn't realize how emotional the show was going to end up being.
Yeah. So that's something that is consistently just what puts the wind in our sails and is just an exceptional experience to get to have all the time. I think for particular like events or like, I mean, I would say meeting Del has been a pretty big,
big
thing. For
me.
me.
We became friends with there was a husband and wife songwriting team, Felice and Boudala Bryant, that they arrived in Nashville in I think 1950, the same year Chet Atkins did, and they really helped make Nashville Music City. They were incredible writers. They wrote so many different types of songs that they were even asked to come write for Broadway, and they chose not to. They just chose to stay in Nashville. But the greatest musical marriage that they had with an artist was with Don and Phil. I mean, so they wrote 30 songs for Don and Phil
that they recorded.
That they recorded, and all of them made it to the charts. And while we were on the road, we ended up meeting their son Del Bryant, who they're good family, good people. And Del was the CEO of BMI for 40 years.
Okay.
Wow.
And he just immediately just invited us and made us feel so welcome here in the Nashville area, Middle Tennessee. I mean, he was the one that actually
drove us through this county where we are.
He's like, you might want to think about moving down here. And we're so grateful for that. And he just shared so much. And I would say that experience was really amazing because, I mean, we're just, you know, two punks from LA, and and this guy gave us all of his time. And we know from living in Los Angeles that the entertainment industry, it kind of breeds a famine mentality where people, like, if they get a gig, they hold on to it and hoard it.
Sure.
And they're very, you know, you're just trying to just get by. And the feeling out here from the get-go was very different. We felt like people wanted to share of their success, and that was part of why we wanted to move out here. It was just a little bit. It's almost like people realize that if they share of the success, like that fountain, it replenishes itself if you are willing to share. and give more.
But I'd say that's
If
something
that makes any sense. Yeah.
That's something that our hearts have opened up to over the years as well, because you find that everywhere you go. I
Yeah,
feel
of
like.
course. I'm not down. I mean, I'm sure that there are great people in the entertainment industry in California and in Los Angeles, but I'm sure you know what I mean. There's so many people out there trying to make it, and
That's right.
yeah,
100%. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we've encountered
We know
it.
what that's
We know
all
it. We will not mention names.
Yeah. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
yeah.
But we
Or
absolutely
guilty in
yes,
this case.
yes.
Yeah, and we met Del because of someone we had the honor of working with when we were
In Los
playing
Angeles.
In Los Angeles, his name's Billy Steinberg, and Billy is a co-writer of a great deal of hits from the in the 90s and the
70s and 80s. Yeah, he wrote a bunch of hits with Tom Kelly. They wrote Madonna's "Like a Virgin." They wrote "True Colors" for Cyndi Lauper.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
and they Eternal Flame and all that and stuff. So so emotional for Whitney Houston. They just wrote all these big songs, and we got to Billy Steinberg. We backed him up singing some of the stuff that the ladies would be singing. I would be singing the ladies' parts and stuff.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because he was such a huge fan of the Everly Brothers, and he told us that he had written "Like a Virgin" to be a ballad, kind of like an Everly Brothers ballad, like a song.
Right.
And that was the initial way, and then Tom kind of turned it into something more up tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was Billy that introduced us to Del and all that.
Yeah,
But,
so we're really grateful.
But yeah,
for that.
Back to the question of just the impactful moments and stuff.
I mean, as you know, just being on the road, getting to see different parts of the country, that alone is unbelievable.
Open our eyes to just really, what it's like out in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can say, not being a musician, but getting to be privileged to travel with Jim and Zepp again and see the country, that's a huge high. I mean, we've been to Japan.
Yeah, like 5 times.
Ireland. I mean, with Germany, we've been to so many countries that we probably would not have been
there's
able
no
to
doubt
go
we
to.
wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah. So that's I see what you're saying. That's a highlight.
It's a dream come true to be able to travel and see the world doing something you love, and
that's right. That's right.
Purpose.
You were saying, like, for a while there, you were doing about 150 shows a year. What do you each have, like a regimen that you follow to just keep your voice in shape from day to day? Anything that you do in particular?
I'm very much like, there's some of those baseball players who do those weird kind of like they have to brush their teeth after the 7th inning kind of thing. I think I'm kind of falling into that category a little bit, where I get dressed an hour before the show, and I have a certain set of routine that I go through to get my spirit and my mind in like a certain place and all that.
Dylan has a set of luggage ready to go right now.
It's
like
packed.
He has everything packed just in case he has to go.
Dylan, you and I would get along because that's how I function.
It's my way of saying to the universe that, like, I'm ready for this, and just bring it in, bring it on.
Yeah. I mean, so you're vocalizing an hour before and in your suit.
Yeah.
I start probably 20 minutes before, 25 minutes, and get.
He's a rock star.
No.
Well, it's funny because I mean, I had been singing for years in different groups, but I just came across something just this year, and I don't know why I did, but I realized that I had been dehydrated for years and didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And I would wake up some days and it was like, I sounded like Barry White, and I'm like this in the gutter, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? So I just one day looked online to find out how much water should I be drinking every day. I started drinking like 14 to 18 glasses of water every day. And I'll tell you guys, I'll wake up in the morning ready to sing, That never happened
It's
before.
changed his life.
Never.
It's changed his life.
I don't struggle to sing,
Water.
high on a daily basis.
Water.
Do you guys hydrate to that extent?
That is the biggest thing. Yeah, always just carry a jug of water with me.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is. Hydrating has been drilled in us, even like just growing up with our dad. He was always talking about that too. Just drink a bunch of water, like at night after a show, in the morning. Don't just pound it right before the show. You have to like be consistent throughout the day.
And also I've noticed I have to kind of stop drinking water. I'd say about, maybe 15 minutes before the show, because that's
going to be a problem. Yes.
Yeah, and I can't eat within 2 hours.
Right.
I'm the same way.
Right.
Same way. By the way, what did your dad think when you guys came to him and said, "Hey, Dad, we're putting this Everly Brothers tribute together"? What did he think about that?
He's been nothing but supportive to us throughout every single step of our journey on figuring out what we want to do together as brothers and stuff. And same with our mom. I mean, they're just so glad that we are able to get along enough that we can run a business together. And
that's amazing. How special is that, though? That's so special.
So cool.
It's so cool.
We definitely have to count our blessings every day, because it's if brothers can't get along, then what hope does the world have?
Yeah, seriously.
That's exactly right.
True.
That's exactly right.
One other question that we've always asked our guests is, who are some of your other favorite artists? And if each one of you had the time to put into it, who would you put another tribute band together to?
Well, I mean, we did kind of develop a second show over the last, I guess, year and a half and all that. And it's something we had been talking about, but it's not a specific other artist. It's more, as we were talking earlier, about all these acts that precede Don and Phil, that are brother acts and all that. And then acts that came after Don and Phil that they influenced. So we've thought about doing this whole show kind of called Oh Brother or something like that, that is basically pays tribute to blood harmony in American music, and like the journey that it's singing together. The journey that it's taken from like early country with the Blue Sky Boys and the Delmore Brothers and Rhythm and Blues, all the way through Don and Phil, and then into kind of like the Beach Boys and the Bee Gees and all that, and just the role that families kind of played throughout American music. But
that was one thought we had. But in terms of like favorite artists, do you have any favorite? I mean, I think
we both say the same person.
George Jones.
George Jones is one of our favorite musicians and singers of all time, but we can't do a tribute to George Jones. Like that's
that guy's unreal.
Yeah, that would be tough.
But I mean, we also thought, there was a time where we thought about the Kinks. That's a simple group, and
no one's doing anything about the Kinks and stuff.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's true. That's one that hasn't been put together yet.
Challenging though.
Oh yeah, that would be it's kind of
easy. Another brother group, Dave Davies and Ray Davies.
Ray Davies, that's right.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good plan.
Right. We thought about it. I don't know how much if there would be as much of a market. I don't know. It's like because clearly everyone loves them, but I just don't know.
Right.
But again, as a passion project, that's
that's a thought. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? I mean, a lot of the music that like we're paying tribute to is the demographic for that now is getting older. Gig and I have talked about 60s, this quite 70s. A bit. Well, most 60s, of our 70s. Audience is in their late 50s, 60s, and 70s.
But I mean, what do you always say?
What's that?
About like music, the reason we do music in the 60s and 70s, because says this all the time. We have 3 children in our 30s, and they listen to.
No, I looked up one day just out of curiosity. I said, I'm going to put in classicrock.com and see what comes up. And I did that, and it was a black page with white lettering that said classicrock.com. Why? Because everything out there today is just so bad.
Yeah, it's a different time in terms of what is pop music, popular, what's like the main artists that are being on the forefront. It's just a different world.
Yeah, it's crazy how much how the industry has shaped. I mean, there's always been like fluff music and then music with substance, but yeah, it is strange that like I wouldn't even be able to tell you what's on top 40 right now.
Oh, no. I mean, the only reason we knew is because of our children, because we had to suffer through.
Yeah.
Choose your words, man.
Yeah, I checked out at like 1990. I said, okay, everything I'm listening to is 60s and 70s mainly. And
then I love country, and he tells me not to tell people that.
Yeah,
but I was born with a Texan. My dad was a Texan, so I was raised, and I still love country. He's like, don't tell people that.
Friends of yours?
I feel the same. I know there's a lot of different definitions that people have of what that word means at this point. Right. But for me, it's the early stuff. I mean, from like the 40s and 50s and 60s, like those, and even the 70s, those are incredible.
Yeah, the outlaw country was
incredible
really cool.
eras of country music. And I think it's influenced and it's found its way into every genre you can imagine, basically, like that spirit and stuff. But yeah, I mean,
I like the stories. I mean, that's what
I love.
And like the willingness to be like vulnerable. And
I was going to say that. That's exactly it.
That's something that's maybe a little bit more unique as opposed to just like kind of lovey-dovey kind of songs, or it just being sexualized or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
An interesting thing about to bring up Everlys again, the Bryants, Felice and Boudleaux Bryant, they talk about how they wrote 3 different types of songs that Don and Phil did, and but they would do ditties, which are kind of like novelty songs, and then ballads. And the way they kind of delineated obviously a ballad is a ballad, but the ditties are these like kind of upbeat, sweet songs, and then the novelty songs are kind of like a bird dog or something like that, where it's these cute terms with like these like colloquialisms or these of the time and all that. I just thought about that because we're talking about that. The vulnerability thing is they always wrote for Don and Phil as them being the ones hurt, not being the ones that hurt the other person. That was an interesting thing because like their voices were so pure and sweet. So them singing as being the one that was hurt it made more of sense. And stuff.
Whereas if you've got like a voice like Tom Waits, you can very different.
Gig had another observation there. It says part of the beauty and advantage of the Zmed show is the fact that these brothers are so much younger than the original, and the Everlys core audience, that they're awakening new generations to this music. That's right. Absolutely right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, we're working on that. We really hope that we can. I feel like there's just something so unique about that time. I mean, clearly, records aren't made that way anymore. Everyone I guess there are in certain circles, but people in a room playing songs together. And I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but it was a really special time, and I don't know if anything like that'll ever happen again. I don't think so.
You sound really depressed.
No.
You're right. I mean, you look at the music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I don't think we're ever going to get back to where it was of that quality again. It's such a shame.
Now it's so computerized.
Oh,
it's not raw
the
organic
human element
anymore.
is completely gone.
You
out of
are able
popular
to
music.
fix whatever you are missing instead of work on whatever you're missing. You can fix it. It's digitally.
It's a real shame.
The amazing thing is that, like, I guess with so many opportunities and like we can kind of easily drown in the everything that's available to us. All these possibilities, like we can make recordings on our phones and our computers and stuff. Like we kind of lose the I guess respect or the sense of reverence for it in a way because it's so easily accessible. It kind of take it for granted and all that. But I think like it's cyclical in my feeling that I think there's always going to be a return to that.
Yeah, I'm not hopeless about where things are at. Because we can make records at our home.
You can make it however you want. Yeah,
you're right. Sure. You're right. That's exactly.
I think it was just. I think I was commenting on what you were saying about the 50s being a very specific time in American history where like you're never going to get that again. Where those people that were making the teenagers were raised by people from the old world to some degree, and then you have the new industry coming in, and it's just like this. It was this time when like it was still innocent, but it was coming into something different. And then the 60s just kind of like took it almost too far. It in terms of like, but maybe I'm wrong there.
Well, in terms of culture, industry, and all that, the revolution that happened in the 50s, that obviously you can't.
Well, marketing music to kids, because it seems like before the 1950s, I don't know how much the record industry even knew that they could market to children, or to teenagers.
Yeah.
So, what the radio, the transistor radio, right? We learning that it was basically like the first iPod. And little kids, instead of it being the big radio that's in the living room, that's mom and dad's radio, kids could take a transistor radio into their room and like have this personal relationship with what was being put out on the radio, these artists and stuff. And that I think had a huge impact on, I mean, we talked to a lot of folks who were there at that moment, and they talk about how big that was, how impactful it was on their relationship with music. But yeah, that was a special time.
Oh, hey, Simon and Garfunkel. We do a couple of those.
You guys could do that. You guys could do it, Simon and Garfunkel. Have you ever thought about that?
We've sing a few of their songs, and I absolutely love Paul Simon. Yeah. And Art Garfunkel is one of the most immaculate singers of all time.
Crazy.
Yeah. And we obviously when they were just 15 and 16, they called themselves Tom and Jerry, and they like mapped themselves after Don and Phil. Like they were huge fans of Don and Phil.
Yeah, we thought about that one too, and we thought that if we just have so many interests, and there's so many great harmony acts that we thought, is there some way we could just do a big family kind of close harmony show of all the close harmony? But I don't know. I think
what we've been spending most of our time doing is writing our own music lately and stuff. So
that's great.
And it's called the Zmed Brothers Show. Is that?
Oh yeah, we did.
I'll actually put that link below too, and we have
that's on YouTube.
Yes.
We made 10 episodes last year, right when all the lockdown stuff happened. We just thought, all right, let's try something new, and so we dive into just some of our interests and some of our original music, and it's kind of a variety show kind of thing. And it was our way of just trying to learn how a new medium as well, because we really don't know much about video editing and all this stuff. So we did it ourselves, and it was a good experience to just try and teach yourself a new craft. I think we told ourselves during that year. Busy hands are happy hands. So we just got to like do something with our off time and all that. So
Yeah.
Right. Well, and you guys have some shows coming up in October, a little run. You're doing how many shows do you guys have in October?
Is it 6?
it's 5. It's 5 shows,
Oh, yeah.
and in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, and Ohio.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Great.
there's Burley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that debonair, handsome fella.
So you guys are in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Connecticut. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big run there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of far. Each show is a little far from each other. We've got a day in between each. We've played all these spots before, and we love every single spot. I'm so glad that we have
Oh my
some
gosh.
work.
Yeah. We're just trying to do what we can. And meanwhile, we've been really working on just getting our own Zmed Brothers act together so
Right.
that we can be playing locally, because there's a ton of local work out here, but it's not the same kind of, not playing theaters and performing arts centers, but like lots of just clubs and lots of stuff out here. So we're working on that.
Do you play, Jim, as like kind of local gigs like that at all? Do you ever do kind of?
Well, basically what I do with Zeppigan and TLR, we normally play on Fridays and Saturdays of every week, but the other groups that I'm involved with, I try to do them on weeknights, Sundays, like the CSNY group. I just started playing in a group that's a tribute to bread. I don't know if
So good.
Oh, I know Brad. Yes, of course.
I heard they broke up. They're called Crumbs now.
That's an old George Miller joke.
I know.
Yeah, well, that and then I'm also in a James Taylor, Carole King.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I try to do those all on weeknights and Sundays in like coffee houses and places like that.
You're filling the week. You save
more
your
intimate
Friday and Saturday
venues.
for Zeppigan.
For Zeppigan, though, Zeppigan probably does more traveling than any of the groups. TLR coming next, but I have to pretty much keep every Friday and Saturday open for those two groups.
Totally.
Well, I'm just amazed by your talent to be able to do what John Paul Jones does.
Oh,
That guy is just he's the unsung hero in that band, and doing everything. Do you also play mandolin too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Play mandolin and a little bit of 12-string acoustic, on a couple of the tunes that they did live that way. But I was such a huge fan of Zeppelin growing up that when Swan, the lead singer, asked me to join 20 years ago, I was thrilled because they were my absolute favorite band. That was the group that inspired me to pick up the bass in the first place. So it's been such an incredible run with those guys. In fact, when is the 21st?
Well, I mean, we started. You started.
My first show with them was in 2001, October 21st.
Yeah, 2001.
Wow.
So on the 20 year.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah,
I wish we could do the same show, but we were asking you every single question because
We have so many questions for you.
well, maybe we can turn it around sometime.
Yeah.
I'll be on the Zmed Brothers show.
That's right. That's right.
Season 2. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and that leads me to the last question, and is what do you hope to accomplish in the future with the group? I mean, do you have any specific goals in mind as far as like touring or taking it to a certain level?
Well, first of all, orchestra, Hollywood Bowl. That sounds good.
That would be awesome. That would be. I don't think it's out of the question.
I don't think so
Oh,
either. I think that's very reachable with you guys.
If it was a night that kind of had maybe a couple other big kind of pulling kind of tribute things, it could be a pretty fun thing. But I think, we will play this music as long as people want to hear it. And and because it is completely part of our souls and our spirits, and like, you know, it's our favorite music. So
and it's very obvious because you guys just absolutely slaughter it. It's so good.
It's great.
So good.
I know, it's such an incredible presentation. I mean, the way you've put it together, it's definitely one of the best put together tribute shows that I've seen.
Well, I
mean,
think
from
through
top
your
to bottom.
show, when Jim and I saw it, we kept on looking at each other just going, wow. Like the harmonies were so beautiful.
Well, yeah, and then all the
So
multimedia
beautiful.
that's
Oh my
involved.
gosh.
It's such a well put together show. So I mean, I can see that in the future. I mean, performing arts centers would love to have you all over the place.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The Starlight Bowl, the Hollywood Bowl. There's so many places that Have you guys ever heard of the Starlight Bowl in Burbank?
I have not.
Yes. I have heard of the Starlight Bowl.
So it's a mini. I would say it's
like it holds about
Greek.
4,000.
Yeah.
It holds about 4,000 people. But I think you guys would do really
Kill
well
it.
there.
You kill
I'm
it.
wondering if that's where I saw you perform. That might have been where I saw you perform.
Okay.
The outdoor up on a hill.
Yes, we've done that about three times over the years. I think it's in Burbank, California.
Burbank, right by Castaways at the top of the hill. So at the top.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place. Yeah, we're just praying that the work all comes back for us.
Sure.
You know, we're just being patient, but also in the meantime, just trying to kind of build something else that we can do.
You know, I remember did you mention that we went to your show there with Peter Grant's daughter?
Oh yeah,
that was the
Is
Starlight
that
Bowl.
right?
That was the Starlight Bowl.
Yes,
I remember her being at that show.
So we went with Peter Grant's daughter and with our at the time we were working with this guy Paul Kilmeister who's Lemmy Kilmeister's son.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was played in our band the Janks and stuff with us, and he helped produce our records in that group and all that.
This was back in 2012, 13.
All right,
I think we came to that show with them.
Yeah.
That was Rebecca, right? Rebecca Grant.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's
Hopefully
been since then.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember her coming backstage.
That was
and
Starlight
talking to
Bowl.
us.
I
That was
remember her
right.
being there. So you guys did go to the Starlight Bowl.
Yeah, we drove with them there. Yeah, that was the show. So that was it. Cool. Yeah, that's a beautiful space. Love that venue. So much.
Yeah.
I just hope we get a chance to see you guys again soon.
That'd be great.
If you guys are out in this area, please call us.
Let us know. We'll
get
put you on the
together with
list.
you. Or we'll go to dinner. We'll just go
we love that.
and have fun. And
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like we could talk for a lot longer. And
we had such a good time with you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
And everybody out there, if you haven't heard or seen this group, the next time they're in the area, I think the majority of our audience is from Southern California.
But they have a lot of people on. I've seen that they're.
There's a lot of your fans are on as well. But
Yeah.
if you are in Southern California, you haven't seen them, next time they're out, you've gotta go and see them. In fact, we'll let us know when you guys are going to be here. We'll advertise it on this
absolutely.
show.
Thank you. Yeah, we will. We're really hoping that December those shows come through. We're really hoping for that. So, and by the way, you're going to love the Clark Center. It's beautiful in Arroyo Grande. That's a great spot. Yeah.
First time for us on that one too. So
it's really beautiful.
You guys played there, so you've been there. You played there.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's a big that one twice, I think. It's a great spot too.
In the El Campanile, you're in Antioch. You're playing right. Yeah, love that.
That's right. The next night. That's great. That's great.
Well, I hope it all goes so well for you guys.
Thank
so much
you.
fun.
Appreciate
We appreciate you joining us. We had so much fun with you guys, and we hope that we can see you guys here, or maybe we'll be. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have.
If you're ever out in Tennessee,
seriously, we've got
guest
rooms. We have guest rooms. Seriously,
and I'll post the links. I'll post the to your videos, because those videos. Also, yours, the Zmed Brothers show. That was fun. We watched that too. So that was super fun.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so sweet. Thank you guys for your time and your
We're
kindness.
just so grateful. Thank you.
Of course, my gosh, we had a blast with you guys. And thank you, Gary Grantham, for joining us. All right, you guys,
Have a
take
great
care.
night, guys.
It's late for you. It's probably about
that's
bedtime
right.
because they're 2 hours ahead of you.
We're fine. But yeah, all the best to you and your families, and we hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
you guys,
much, guys.
take care.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that
All
was
right,
fun.
that was awesome.
Oh, what a bunch of
So
two
informative.
of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. And I
And
felt that
two of
way
the
when
most
we
talented.
actually talked. We talked to Dylan that night.
Right after, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I talked
the
to
nicest guy.
Zach briefly
I
as well.
did not get
Yeah.
a chance to meet Zach, but I was so glad that I got
Yeah.
to meet Zach now. And we did talk to Dylan after the show at the El Portel
Yeah,
Theater.
that's right.
Then I just remember walking away from our conversation thinking, what a nice, I mean, just genuinely, when you meet that
Yeah.
genuinely nice guy, it just leaves an impression on you. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
very happy to meet him.
Yeah.
But not only is he a nice guy, but he is just massively talented.
Well, they both are. I mean, man,
Man,
it was
man.
it was such an impressive show. I mean, we were talking about it for weeks after that,
Right,
telling
right.
all our friends.
Their
So,
harmonies were amazing. Their dad, Adrian
Mhm.
Zmed, got up and sang with them. Adrian Zmed, who is, I don't even know what his character name was on TJ Hooker, but Shannon just said she had the biggest crush on him all of her life, and so did Shannon Majors.
yeah, probably a lot of other women too, I would think.
And then he was actually one of the thugs on Grease. Was he one of the?
You know, I'm not sure.
I'm
I don't
not
know
sure.
if
We'll have to
thug is
rewatch
the right
it.
word. But he was also in Bachelor Party, which was
I
hilarious.
did not watch that.
Oh, that was,
Did
that
my-
was
was
so
it?
funny.
Was it?
I watched it when you weren't home one
All right,
time,
all
actually.
right.
So.
My mom probably didn't let me watch that. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much,
joining us.
guys.
We had a really amazing time with these guys, and
And next week, we got my twin brother coming on with us, Mr. John Acosta. From,
Yeah. He's your brother
BG's
from another
Gold.
mother.
That's right. That's right. We're very privileged to have John joining us next week. So make sure you mark your calendars. It's going to be Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, John Acosta.
So that would be what, the 20th? The 20th.
Well, whatever
That would be
next
the
week
20th.
is.
Wednesday the 20th. Yeah, tune in to WAW. We've got John Acosta from BG's Gold joining us.
Yep,
It's gonna
and
be
we're
a
going to
great
leave
night.
you with a song that our good friend Mike McManus wrote for us, and I'm sure you heard it at the opening of the
Yeah,
show.
our
But
theme
we're going
song.
to play it for you again because we just love it so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. God bless you, and keep on rocking in the free world.
All right.
It's the world according to Woot. It's the world according to Woot. According to Woot. Good evening, Simi Valley.
Yeah. Okay.